Hi, thanks for tuning in to another episode of The Spiritual Scientist. I'm Victor. Thanks for tuning in and checking me out. So, lights hitting me a little weird today, just the sun, and I'm driving to work obviously, so I thought I'd make another video. I just wanted to say, to start off, my solidarity goes out to the Yellow Jackets in France for struggling for 2 years from America to fight for freedom. And it's just something that's been lacking here in the U.S. There hasn't been a lot of protests, and I want to talk about being positive in the protests, and not violent at all, but getting the word out and showing how you feel. Now there is a lack, and I think there's so much saturation by the media and what people are doing every day. There's a separation between thought and action, and I just thought I'd say that. There was just a case that came up. A woman was on a train in Pennsylvania, and for 45 minutes she was accosted by a man and then was raped, but people are holding up their cameras and videoing it, but they're not calling 911. I think people just have this separation between themselves and reality so much that they just feel like they're in some kind of a television show, and it just seems too surreal for them to act. So I just thought I'd talk that part of it. And I think a lot of people here in the US do want to go along with the program, whatever it is. They don't want to bother thinking for themselves, and there is a group of people that definitely do not agree with what's going on. So my solidarity for the French people, and there's a lot going on in the world, and I don't want to forget anybody, but there's just too much things going on. In this video, I'm going to talk to you right now about Mel Brooks, which was a big viewed for my channel, a big viewed Mandela Effect video on my channel, and Mel Brooks and what's going on. Mel Brooks is still alive, so for a lot of us, we remember that Mel Brooks died, and now he's alive. I personally love his movies. I love his stuff. I saw his play. I think he's a genius, and the comedy's phenomenal. So I do enjoy him being alive. I don't want to come out and do a video of people say, oh, I hope he dies. That's not the case. I'm happy he's alive. Again, so what would that mean? So there's the interesting thing is why I'm talking about him now is a couple of things. One is that Mel Brooks being alive again, what is he doing? He's actually, at his age, he's coming out with a movie, History of the World Part 2. Can you imagine? So here I talk about alternative timelines, and one of the people that I recognize that passed away and now timeline merged is Mel Brooks, and he's coming out with a movie about the History of the World Part 2. So go figure, right? Wow. What a coinkydink. What a coincidence. Almost doesn't make sense, but it makes total sense if you think about it. History of the World Part 2. Can't wait to see that. I hope he completes it and stays in good health. Wow. So it's pretty crazy. And then, there's a lot of signs with the Mandela Effect. And I never said it wasn't, a lot of this isn't done with intelligence behind it. So I just said that their multiverses may be crashing together, blending together. I didn't say it was done non-purposefully or purposefully. I've said that before about how, Jesus had the loaves and the fishes, and sure, it could be a pesher, but it also could be that he reached into a basket, and every time he reached into a basket, right, he pulled out from another multiverse, another fish or another loaf. So that's a potentiality. So there's potentialities, and that potential could be realized, and then all of a sudden it's there. And in the quantum realm, it's just a potentiality. So if you have the willpower to create that potentiality, then certainly that could be the case. That's how I'm looking at it. And now, if we look at some of the Mandela effects themselves, let's talk about that for a minute and break it down. So what do you have? You have a Kit Kat with a dash missing. So that was a joining that's not there. And then you have, it's just showing that it was there and it's not there, or it's there and it's there. It's, back and forth. We also have a lot of letters being inserted into words, and a lot of letters disappearing from words. So there might be two L's or two this, or a plural. There's an S at the end. So what's that all a sign of? So there's two things where there was just one before. So there's two and one. Could this, go back to the second Messiah theory that I talked about before? So yeah, it makes total sense. So if you have, there's two lampstands, there's actually two goats. You have a scapegoat, and biblically they had a goat that they would let go into the desert. So that was the goat that they would free. So there was always two goats. There was a goat that they sacrificed, and then there was a goat that would be free. So there's two goats. What else is there two of? Well, there's the remnant that came back to Israel. So they have the second coming. You have the second. You have that in Isaiah 11:11. You have the second remnant that comes back. Branch of Jesse, another shoot will come out. So let's think about that for a second. You also have, like I said, the two lampstands, and there's two witnesses. So we have a lot of, twos in the Bible. Obviously, Jesus is one of them, and I always, thought that there would be, in the second coming, like in the first coming, a lot of people said, oh, he's coming down from, heaven. I don't think that is exactly how it's going to happen, but, I think it's going to fool everybody, because everybody's sitting around going, looking up at the sky. When's that happening? And then you have all these signs, and then all of a sudden, boom. So it's all very interesting. But just thought I'd share that about Mel Brooks. And the brook is in, I believe it's in Psalm 110, where the Lord says to my Lord, sit at my right hand until I make enemies a footstool at your feet, right? And so what is at the end of that psalm is that I will drink from a brook along the way and raise my head, right? So Mel Brooks, Brooks, same thing. Kind of all makes sense when you think about it. Just thought I'd share this video. Let me know what you think in the comments. When you really get into the Bible and you really get into the Mandela effects, they kind of jive in a little bit, and that's what makes sense to me today. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments, and again, my solidarity goes out to the French people, of course. I had somebody commenting, and Philip Argilier, and they said, listen, he came out in 2018 and said he was going to publish a book and talk about it, and then nothing happened. So I don't know. Do I trust him 100%? No, I don't even know him. So I'm looking at everything, take it with a grain of salt, as they say. And anyway, everybody stay safe, and let me know what you think. Bye-bye.